Everybody, it's me, Christy from YouTube. I'm not sure if this video is going to be broken up into two parts yet. It may be. And the weekly thing, for now, I had to speak. I had to talk about my feelings. So, I had to make another video. And I did make notes because there are things that are bothering me. What if you were told tomorrow, you went to the doctors, you had some tests run, that you have 6 months to live unless you get your arms and legs cut off? Something extreme. And let's say the last 6 months of your life, you don't want to live without having arms and legs. So instead, you decide you're not going to have what the doctor recommends. You're going to go on a vacation for the last 6 months of your life. Whatever time that you have left, you're going to spend it on a beach, staring at the ocean, and at night going outside and watching the stars. Would you be criticized for that? Maybe. Would you be criticized like I'm being or my dad's being? No. Because if you wanted to spend your last 6 months on Earth, in paradise, as close as you can come to it, enjoying whatever it is that you want to do for the rest of your time on this planet, I would help you by donating a little bit of money. And instead of America and celebrities and talk shows and television stations, and actually my dad's hometown, who I've written like 50 letters to every business, instead of not judging my dad, why don't you grant him his wish? Which is, if you only have $5 to give him, send him that $5. So that he can spend what time he has left on what he wants to do. He doesn't choose chemo. He wants to go to a doctor that a lot of you just want to fight about. A lot of you want to try to educate us on this doctor you think is not the right doctor for us, and blah, 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 and my dad should do this and he should do that instead. While your advice is appreciated and looked into by my family, how about we just support what he wants to do? If he came to me tomorrow and he told me to stop my campaigning, he is my dad. I would do what he wanted. If he tells me tomorrow that he wants to take these massive doses of chemo where he's going to be hospitalized just to have chemo, and usually that's done at a regional cancer center where you go depending on your type of cancer, you get chemo in a bag and then you go home. Sometimes it takes all day long, sometimes you're there a couple hours, sometimes you go every day, sometimes you go once a week or once a month. But no, the chemo that they want to give my dad is so poisonous, they have to make sure that he's in the hospital to make sure that he stays alive, and that they have IV bags ready after the one drug to flush it through his system as fast as they can because it causes a lot of damage. So how about we support my dad and stop questioning what he wants to do? This is his choice, and I support his choice. And for you to write me and tell me, you know what, I don't want to donate to you because I don't like this doctor. I bet if my dad had a famous last name, is that what it takes to get people to notice? Or, also, my dad has always believed in donating anonymously. That's what I believe. That's what I tell my kids. But I'm seriously starting to wonder, maybe I need to just write my name in big, bold letters on the things that I'm doing from now on. Because I've also been told, well, who's your dad? You know, your dad worked, but your dad didn't volunteer, or your dad hasn't given to our town, or your dad hasn't done this, or your dad hasn't done that. How do you know? Because my dad believes in sending money to people and not giving a return address. My dad is one of those people that he's been called a sucker many times. Because when we go into bigger cities, every single homeless person that's holding a sign, my dad makes my mom stop the car and we get honked at. Yes, that's probably us that you're mad about because you're 2 seconds late to work. So he can get out and give that person whatever change he's got. It's not uncommon for him to give a $20 bill, even now, to some of these people where we've watched them. Sometimes they'll go across the street if they were really wanting money that bad or willing to work for food. Then they go across the street and buy a pack of cigarettes. We're not judging you, and my dad still helps them. Every one of them, even if it's the same person time and time again. My dad doesn't tell you, here's $20, but if you're going to go buy a pack of cigarettes, I am not going to help you. That's what we might think, but he doesn't say it. So I don't know if my town and these big companies aren't supporting us because, I don't know, my name's not Kennedy or I'm not famous. But, you know, you want to judge and lecture. I want you to look at yourself. Who are you? Who are you to judge? Are you God? Are you Jesus? No, you're not. So you shouldn't be judging what my dad wants to do. For instance, one of the wonderful things my dad taught me is I had $48 in my wallet to last me till the end of the month. That's all the money I have. And we went somewhere recently. This man was asking for money. He was planning a trip overseas to feed children who stand in line for hours waiting to meet this guy and for him to give them a cup of food. And I was only going to give a few dollars. I ended up giving half of the money, $24, which is probably not a lot to you, but that was half of everything I had. I gave $24 to this man in hopes that my money will be used to make one of them starving children in Kenya or wherever, or Guam, wherever he's going, know what it's like to have a belly full of food. And the smile that comes across their face when they actually see that they're getting some food. They don't have to worry where they're going to get food today. That's where I set my money. And of course I'm helping my dad. But I'm not going to get letters from all the people from Kenya saying thank you, you know, I got whatever I got today because you donated $24. Because I did it anonymously. And in this world, nobody wants to help my dad. Not nobody. There are a few people that have offered to help my dad, but not nearly as many that should. And I could sit here and tell you all the great things that my dad has done anonymously his whole life, but what would be the point of that? Because everything my dad believes in, that it doesn't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what you think that he did with his money, because God knows. Jesus knows. I got heck from my hometown here last Christmas because my son, who has autism, wanted to ring the bell for the Salvation Army. And he got so excited for doing it, he did it like 3 times. And I wrote a small little piece into the paper. And I got heck because, you know, here I am announcing what my kid did. You know, so I've learned my lesson about that. But I was proud of him. And children with autism, it was very hard for him to do that. Obviously, he doesn't have full-blown autism, but he has a form of autism. He doesn't like strangers. And I had somebody write me a letter. Well, it was an email. Because I got lots of hate mail for just sending in a story about what my kid did. And they told me, this is exactly what the email said. If I had knew it was retard day at that store, I would have made sure that I stopped to laugh. My son doesn't know that. And as long as you all promise to keep it quiet, he never will. I do have something else to say. So there's going to be a part 2. Please watch it.